Good morning. Yes, I've been up for a good while. I went to bed about 11:30 and was awake a little bit before 4. Went to the meditation room today, which is I haven't been doing that in recent days. And laying in bed mostly doing my meditating, but today I went to the meditation room and library, making myself walk down the hall. And yesterday, and actually in recent days, it's been discovering layer upon layer of me, because it's all me. Consciousness is all there is. And becoming aware of the interconnectedness of all life is like peeling back layer upon layer upon layer upon layer and discovering more and more and more. The intricate web we have devised that has been created by either our direct action or by our indirect consent. It's all been created by us because we are the only ones here. And I know how easy it is for all of us, myself included, to divide things into us and them and this and that. And I know how easy it is to criticize myself. And when I'm criticizing myself, it's easy to criticize other people. I've gone around and around on this thing, as most of you have. One day at a time. And we come back to a point where we thought we had been before and received resolution on the matter, and then the matter comes up again. And I received again yesterday the quote from the Matrix movie, which I'll read to you now. The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around. What do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. And as I sat in the meditation room today, and that saying, which I actually pulled up yesterday and posted on my weekend events page, along with 2 videos about birth certificates and their meaning in the matrix. As I pondered on this, I realized it should not have surprised me that the lawyers would come back and once again try to uphold the system by which they've earned their living and by which they've identified themselves. Do I realize that they are part of me? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Do I talk sometimes like it's they against all of us? Yes, I do. And that is how it appears within the matrix. It appears like a huge battle going on. And I noticed that when I'm feeling fear, I pray, I feel, I live differently than when I'm not in fear. The one thing that has changed about that, though, is I don't beat myself up anymore for feeling the fear. And that's a huge advancement, because for years, I would beat myself up. Well, you're too much in the ego. You're too much this or too little that. And I've been saying this to me, me talking to me, judging myself. And some of the emails that I get, and I spent time this morning before I started the video actually catching up on the emails, although there are 3 more now in the inbox, although I was caught up when I started. But they do come in, sometimes in huge numbers all at once. And I try to keep up with them. I apologize to those of you that I have not given an adequate response to, especially the people that write the most, because those are the ones that overwhelm me. A short email to me, I can respond shortly. But when somebody sends me paragraphs of information, it's really, I feel like I owe them paragraphs in return, and I sometimes just do not have the time, and I do apologize about that to you. But anyway, I've come a long way from beating myself up all the time. I can accept that, yes, sometimes I'm very much in I. In fact, most of the time. I don't consider that an ego issue, though. I know some people do, and I get that in an email every now and again. Somebody says, you're all from the ego. When you're in the spirit, you don't talk I. Well, I beg to differ. Because all there is on this planet is I am. That's what consciousness is. Consciousness isn't about something out there. It's about what's happening here with me, what's happening in your life with you. We are the center of consciousness. That's what consciousness is. Again, it's knowing ourself. Knowing ourself individually. It's the individuation process, that we become individuals, and then we lay down that somewhat by recognizing that, yes, we're individuals, but we're interconnected in a web of many individuals. And we choose to either fight it or love it. And sometimes the fighting is the correct response. Sometimes standing in our truth and standing in our power is the absolute essential and perfect thing to do. And sometimes surrender is. Perhaps that's why I'm the paradox man. Perhaps that's why, or perhaps that's because I'm a 9 on the Enneagram. Everything, I can see the point in everything. I've stopped the craziness, mostly, of beating myself up for not being either or. I'm both and. And that's a hard concept for people that are still in the either or place. I remember one time many, many years ago, back in the 60s, or I guess it was the 70s, where I put a little diagram up of a little rectangle that was half, had a square of black and a square of white, and I said, remember, there is no gray. You're either on this side or that side, and that's how I saw it. It's either or. But that's not how I see it now. Even the lawyers are fighting for their very survival. They're not stupid. They know that their system is coming down. They know that people are waking up. They know that. How could they not know it? I mean, although I do know some metaphysical people in my circle that still seem to want to bury their head in the sand and not admit to what's actually going on in the world, because to admit it would only keep it going on from their perspective. I understand all of these things. I've explored them, believe me. I've been on this planet long enough to explore and look at things from as many different perspectives as I'm humanly capable. Which is why I'm able to love myself, because I've seen myself virtually on every ideological position that's possible. What if I was born over there? Or what if that's how I earned my living? What if those were my belief systems that were put in place before I even knew what was going on, implanted by my parents and my school and my church or my synagogue or my mosque? This is how we live. This is what it means to be human. We're each a different point to view, with a different point of view, because every one of us is unique. And as we become more mature and as the lights come on in our lives, we realize that the only alternative, the only reasonableness is to love everyone and everything. It's easy, for example, with my lawsuit. I won, and now they've revived it again. So did I win last year? Sure felt like it. Felt like it for almost a year, till Saturday. Then I realized, hey, they're up to their old games again, because that's all they know how to do. All they know how to do is lie and build on making their own rules as they go along to support the system. That's what they do. That's to be expected. Do I do that too? Yeah, I guess sometimes I still fight to support the old system because it's what I'm familiar with. It's my comfort level. But we're all being pushed outside of our comfort zone, personally and collectively. It's happening to all of us right now. And Spirit is saying, just let go. Just watch how it comes about. Does Ron Van Dyke have the answers? No, I don't. No, I don't. The answer is love. But do I know exactly how it's going to play out in this world of 3 dimensions? I have a good idea because I've seen the other side, but the actual steps of the process in between, I don't know what they're going to be. They're going to happen day by day, week by week. And things are accelerating in this 9th wave, and people are waking up. I know for a fact that that will change everything. There's no way that it can't. And the light wins, because there's no way darkness can survive as the lights get brighter. There's no way. There's no way. The shadows become less and less because the light shines from every point to view. It's in all of us to be free, to be loved, to know that we are infinite and eternal beings. It's in all of us to know that. And we'll all wake up. Sooner or later, we all wake up because we're all part of the one, which is God. And I recognize that in you and in me. Namaste. Have a beautiful day today, and God bless you. Thank you for listening.